Hi guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. One of the few hype-free channels on the greater antiques and collectibles trade that still exist. In all honesty, I started this channel, about 2 months ago. I am up to a handful of subscribers, and I thank you guys for that. If you do get something out of these videos and you do like the content, you want me to continue producing content, the easiest way to tell me is by either liking the videos, putting a comment in the comment section, but most importantly, please subscribe. One of the things that the YouTube algorithm looks at when it analyzes where a particular channel in the YouTube sphere should be promoted by its own algorithm is basically by the amount of subscribers you have, okay? I consider that somewhat obsolete in today's day and age, but it is what it is. So if you do like my content, please let me know by at least subscribing. If you do subscribe, I am more likely also to respond to your comments if I know that you're an active subscriber, because it tells me that you're not just watching one video and taking little bits of pieces out of it and possibly not seeing the full picture, okay? So if you do watch my videos, you like my comment, please feel free to subscribe. Really, it means a lot to me. That said, I want to start off these videos talking about reality television shows based on the greater antiques and collectibles trade. Much like a lot of my videos, to understand the full concept of this and how the merging of reality-based television and antiques and collectibles came to be, we have to go back to the beginning, okay? So we're going all the way back, really, to the turn of the millennium, okay? The biggest reality-based show that came out that was geared towards antiques and collectibles was, of course, Antiques Roadshow. Now, I don't blame you guys if you tell me in the comments section, you know, I'm really not interested to listening to topics on Tiffany glass, certain rare porcelain, glass bottles, furniture, jewelry, topics of that nature, okay? That is hardcore antique categories, okay? I have yet in this channel, outside of, I think, talking about art a little bit and coins and currency, I have yet to delve full into the antique sector, okay? I did that on purpose because most people of the younger set, I'm talking 50 and younger, guys, just so you're wondering, who watch videos on YouTube geared towards antiques and collectibles are more into pop culture-based collectibles. And I knew that going in with this channel, that I would never get the amount of viewers that a lot of the more hype-driven or a lot of the other channels that focus on like all video games or all Magic the Gathering cards or all comic books or all toys. I knew I would never have that traction to attract that large audience that they have, because one of the things that I've always said, guys, is this is a thinking person's channel, okay? I'm teaching you how to analyze collecting categories in the greater trade, the trade being antiques and collectibles, so that you can become a better collector, speculator, or investor if that's what you want to be, okay? I teach market fundamentals on this channel and how to analyze markets, okay? That does not appeal to a lot of people who in this day and age, they want to be told, hey, go out and buy, 20 copies of the limited edition Super Mario All-Stars game that came out in, 2010 for the Wii, hold them for a couple of years and flip them back on eBay, okay? And it's sad to say, but the advice that people are getting from a lot of the other channels, and I don't care if it's Magic the Gathering, if it's Lego, if it's video games, whatever you want to talk about, is kind of obsolete advice, okay? Speculating has been done to death, and a lot of the markets where speculating used to be king are dying a slow death. And this is actually going to tie in to reality-based television shows, because part of the problem is everybody knows the value, where if you put out, I've said this before, if you go to a flea market and you're a seller and you put out a Nintendo with 10 or 20 games and you want 20, 30, or 40 bucks for it, you're going to sell it within the first hour, if not the first 10 minutes. It's the way the market is right now, guys, okay? That's why I have a lot of people that come to me who started out in the trade like I did, but they didn't have the advantage of being in the trade in the 1990s when eBay first came out. So they're trying to enter the trade right now in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, where we're at present day. And they're wondering why they can't go to flea markets and just buy stuff to flip, not realizing that Reality-based television shows is one reason why some of you guys are having a hard time finding stuff at flea markets, yard sales, and antique marts, okay? Going out to yard sales, flea markets, and antique marts looking for undervalued items in the antiques and collectibles genre is an obsolete business model. Let me say that again. Going out to flea markets, yard sales, and antique marts in 2019 or later, okay, and looking for items to flip on eBay, okay, or any other auction site, okay, is an obsolete business model, okay? The smartphones killed it, the reality-based television shows killed it, and eBay and the greater news media killed it as well, because anybody with half a brain and a smartphone can look up the value of something in today's market, okay? That's why in other videos coming up, I'm going to show you how to access certain categories in the greater antiques and collectibles trade where you still can make a little bit of money by following that mantra. The difference is you have to have specialized knowledge, okay? And if you're wondering, I'm not going to go too far into it in this video, but I'm going to comment on it. If you're wondering how people like me and that can make money, I'm going to tell you. I go to high-end auctions, okay? I look for items that I think other people are going to miss or other people are not going to know the true value of, okay? I will bid on those items and I will flip them on another marketplace or another auction where I think the value will be maximized, okay? So I engage in retail arbitrage. I just do it with true antiques and collectibles, and I stick to the auction houses that I know. Cowan's, Heritage Auctions, Morphe Auctions. I'm not going to name them all, guys, because there are a lot of specialty auction houses out there, aside from the ones that you hear about daily, like Heritage or Sotheby's or Christie's, you know, auction houses like that. In another video, I will go into that topic in depth. That said, when Antiques Roadshow came out, you have to understand, it was already popular overseas in the United Kingdom, okay? What people fail to understand about the antiques trade is, and I hear this a lot, Sean, you know, I'm going out, I'm looking for antiques, or I really like antiques, I have an interest in it, but you know, I'm kind of getting bored with American antiques. And I always laugh and I say, well, you know, you could go overseas to Europe, they have 2,000 years of history. We, in America, only have about 200 years of history, okay? And it's interesting to me because it's very hard to become a true expert in all antique categories, okay? I am not an expert in all antique categories. I will sometimes consult help from somebody, especially if I'm looking at like early American glass, certain furniture, pieces of furniture that could sell for $50,000 or more. I got news for you. I'm calling in experts. I'm getting their opinion. I'm calling even museums. I'm calling auction houses, believe it or not, will sometimes help me if I come across items like that and somebody asks my opinion, okay? There's no way I'm putting my name on a document that says I appraise this item or I stand by the evaluation that somebody else did if I'm not 100% sure on that item, okay? It's not going to happen. So Antiques Roadshow made new ground by kind of bringing a segment of history and antiques into people's living rooms, okay? They were kind of first to market in the concept, okay? And it did very well in the United Kingdom. Now here's the interesting thing. At first, when they tried to bring Antiques Roadshow to America, it actually almost flopped. They really had to tweak the formula a bit and rework it. And one of the things that you guys will understand if you ever watched Antiques Roadshow, what does everybody care about? They don't care about the item per se. They don't care about the history of the item. You know what they care about most? The value of the item. And that in and of itself is everything that's wrong with both the antiques and collectibles marketplace today, because when somebody sees a vase that's worth $25,000, in their head, they're either looking at the monetary value of it, how they can flip it and get the $25,000 out of it, or they're thinking, well, if it's worth $25,000 today, I wonder what it will be worth in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. Here's the problem. The people who think in those two terms, the dimensions that I just stated, they have no greater understanding of the antiques and collectibles trade, how markets work, how speculative bubbles can influence markets, how collectors' taste can change for even high-end items, and how markets ebb and flow throughout certain periods and time frames. Okay? They are running blind. Okay? What Antiques Roadshow does is it's 90% fluff and it's 10% factual history or how to identify items. And here's the problem. And I want to apologize to anybody who's watching this video from Antiques Roadshow, because I think you guys do a better job than any of the other shows devoted to antiques and collectibles, but I still think that you have to make it 90% fluff and obsessed with the value to get people to watch. No one is going to, look, if I did a YouTube channel where all I did was sit here with a Tiffany vase and I told you how to assess its value, how to look at it, how to understand its condition, know the history, how to authenticate the signature on the bottom of the vase, you guys would fall asleep on me, okay? Let's be honest. You're here for understanding collectible markets, but you also want me to talk about Lego or toys and action figures or video games or Pokemon or Magic. There's not many of my subscribers that are into Tiffany glass. Please, if you are into something like that, esoteric, please put a comment in the comment section so I understand that at least I am starting to attract some people in those more antique realms of the trade, okay? And I can create more videos on that. I've been holding back kind of on some of my topics because I don't want to do a video on glass bottles or early American glass if no one's going to sit there and watch the video and I get 10 views and I took, 2 hours to prepare for the video and put up a 30-minute video that took 4 hours out of my week and nobody watches it, okay? That's one thing I want to avoid on this channel, guys, okay? I'm not here to bore you, okay? I'm here to teach you market fundamentals and give you facts in an unbiased manner, okay? So let's go back to Antiques Roadshow. Antiques Roadshow, when they finally got the formula right, okay, where people would come to them, they would wait in a 4-hour line or a 6-hour line, and they would choose certain people to put on the camera, and it would be, Grandma Joe has this vase that was made, 100 years ago, wants to know the value. Grandpa Joe bought his baseball cards from the 1960s, he wants to get appraised, and they would choose these interesting segments and put it on TV. That's when it popped, okay? And people said, well, wow, what if I have something like that? And that's what sparked interest in the greater antiques and collectibles trade for the average American, okay? I've said this before in other videos. Some of you guys are dead wrong in how you analyze the trade. Collectors are born. They are not made. You are never, ever going to convince somebody who goes and watches Avengers Endgame to spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a comic book and build a collection long-term, okay, from that movie, unless they already are a collector of something, okay? You are not going to convince somebody who is a minimalist or lives very below their means to the point where they value more space over having items that have value. Okay? And there's a lot of people, I talk to people in the financial industry every day who pretty much tell me, I'm not a collector at heart. I would love to diversify in other asset classes, but it's just not for me. If that's the case, by all means, don't try to become a collector. You're going to hate yourself and your family's going to hate you. And if you do get a significant other, he or she is going to hate you as well, because if you don't have a passion for it, it's going to show. Okay? That's why I convince people, collect what you like. But at the same time, you have to remove passion from the equation to make a more logical and sound decision, okay? You can't go out, pay a premium for stuff, and call it an investment just because it has value on the secondary market, okay? There has to be sound logic as to why you're making that purchase and why you truly believe it's going to be worth X months or years later, okay? Antiques Roadshow, make no mistake, captured the hardcore antique enthusiast. The person who was in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, okay? Their core market is older individuals, okay? There's not too many younger people watching Antiques Roadshow and getting a lot out of it, okay? Because it's entertainment, okay? So I want to start off with Antiques Roadshow, and then we're going to talk about what happened. How come so many other antiques and collectibles reality-based television shows came about, okay? Antiques Roadshow is still going strong to this day, okay? I think it's on, I forget what public television I think it's on. I know in the Philadelphia area it's channel 12 for me. I'm sorry if that means nothing to you guys where you're watching this. But it's on public broadcasting, okay? It's a great show, okay? Don't get me wrong. If you like it, you want to watch it, or if you're just curious, tune in and see what it's about. Again, my only criticism is, and we're going to get to this even more, is the fact that they keep focusing on the value of the items to the point where the person who's watching it goes blind to everything else. And that's what's sad, okay? So, let's fast forward to 2008, 2009, okay? 2008, 2009, pretty much the bottom falls out of the U.S. and world economies, okay? With the financial crisis that started in the subprime mortgage business that affected real estate and quickly spread to everything else. If you guys do want to watch a great movie that shows the financial crisis on a an economic microcosmic level, sorry, it's called Margin Call. It's with Kevin Spacey and Demi Moore. It's actually one of my favorite movies, right behind the Wall Street films. If you do want to watch that, that goes into great detail on the financial crisis of 2008, 2009. It is an incredible flick. If you don't have a finance background in it, though, to understand some of the things that they're talking about, you may struggle a little bit because it does tend to go heavier in finance terminology. But I think the average person can still pull things out of it and get some good information from it, okay? So it is worth seeing. That said, when this happened, okay, the economy hit a major recession, okay? People were desperate, okay? Certain segments of the population were very desperate and much more desperate than others. So what happened was you had people at television networks wondering, how can we get people to tune in to our network knowing that most likely some of these people are going to have to work 1, 2, 3 minimum wage jobs just to get by, okay? The answer was, well, what if we take the antiques and collectibles market and show the financial side of it, okay? Some of the first reality-based television shows to premiere right around 2010, when we were dead set in the middle of the financial crisis pretty much, was Storage Wars, American Pickers, and Pawn Stars. They were the first 3, okay? I want to spend some time in this video talking about Storage Wars, okay? Because I consider Storage Wars to be one of the most important pieces of garbage that ever hit the reality-based television persona of the antiques and collectibles trade, okay? And that's nothing against Storage Wars per se. The problem that I have about Storage Wars is it's a very convenient show, okay? They pick what they want to show you. They pick what wins they want to show you. They pick what character is going to be portrayed as to having that particular win and what they're going to find, okay? And what it does as well is it focuses solely, again, on the value, okay? Guys, if you want to be successful in the greater antiques and collectibles marketplace, quit focusing on value, okay? I routinely, okay, when I teach people, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, I teach people how to bid on coins, okay? I'm talking high-end coins that go for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. You know the thing that I teach them most? Cover up the value of the coin. Cover up the price. If you're bidding in an auction, cover up the price, look at the coin, and assess the value based on what you think that coin is worth. Don't worry about what anybody else is bidding, okay? If you're looking at a coin that has a value between $5,000 to $7,000, and you're looking at that coin and you go, you know what? This really doesn't look as strong as the other coins that are selling for $7,000, okay? I'm going to put in a bid for $5,500. By all means, put in the bid and then immediately cover up with the rest of the bids that are coming in on that auction if you're bidding live, okay? If you won the bid at $5,500, great, it was worth it to you, right? If you lose the bid at $5,500, it's perhaps due to the fact that maybe you were right and the person that outbid you was overpaying for the coin. Did you ever consider that? The problem with Storage Wars is, here it is, they make it seem like if you're going out there and you're bidding up a locker that you don't know what's in it, okay? For $1,000 or $2,000, if you're not the high bidder, you're a fool, okay? How many times does that work out? It works out because I'm going to tell you, and there's been speculation on this, that most likely, I don't know this to be a fact, I have to state that, but most likely they're, how do I want to say this, salting some of the storage lockers possibly, where they know where the higher value items are. Look, I'm going to tell you a great story. 10 years ago would have been 2009, so I want to say this happened 2004, 2005. I used to go to storage auctions, okay? This is what people don't know about this business. Back then, nobody was going to storage unit auctions, okay? Nobody wanted this shit. If you would get a unit, okay, that would have all Rubbermaid containers or cardboard boxes full of stuff, are you aware those units got the least amount of bids? You know what everybody wanted? They wanted appliances, four-wheelers, stuff that they could sell immediately on the market. They wanted the higher end stuff, good quality furniture. That's what people went to storage unit lockers for, okay? If you got what they called a box unit is a unit that you open up and it's all either cardboard boxes or Rubbermaid containers where you don't know what you're going to get. You could get somebody's old Christmas decorations. You could get a hoarder's box of doll parts. You could get some really strange sexual things, which I'm not going to even go in detail with. I've seen it all. Okay, guys? But the fact remains, a lot of people didn't want to go through the work to look through and see if, how do I want to say this, there's a box of video games, or maybe there's some old Star Wars figures, okay? They wanted the quick hits, so they would go after the unit that had 2 four-wheelers in it, okay? A jet ski, furniture that was from like the early 1900s that they knew would have value on the market, that they could flip like that, okay? That's the stuff people were going after. It wasn't until Storage Wars hit the scene that everyone said, oh my God, I gotta go to a storage unit auction, and if I see a unit full of boxes, well, it could have, oh my gosh, it could have vintage toys in it, it could have baseball cards, it could have video games, it could have floppy disk-based computer games from the vintage era of Apple, Atari, Commodore, okay? And people's imagination started going wild. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna find in most storage lockers, okay? Most people are not like you and I, collectors, okay? Most people who have a storage unit, okay, they have pretty much junk and household items in that unit, okay? The stuff that you're more likely to find is stuff like garden tools, power tools, okay? Household items, refrigerators with half-eaten food in them, okay, that are really buggy and moldy, okay? Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations, stuff from a dollar store, okay? All the stuff that nobody wants. Yes, because most people owned a video game system or a computer, you are bound to come across a video game system or a computer or toys or Lego or Magic the Gathering or Pokemon cards. You will come across this stuff. Here's the problem though. Thanks to shows like Storage Wars, people are bidding up the value of these units 10 times as to what they're worth. The chances of you finding something in near mint condition or in a condition that's salvageable and sellable, okay, compared to what you paid for the unit, are slim to none, okay? These auctions, even today, are a fool's game, okay? I made money back in 2004 to 2006. I think I did it for 2 years, okay? And I'm going to be very honest, it wore me out, okay? I will not lie. Back then, God, I was what? Almost 15 years younger, okay? It wore me out. I cannot tell you the amount of work, the amount of expenses, and everything else. I only did it for 2 years. It was not enjoyable, and I found very few big hits. I was able to make money because there were less people in the business at that time, okay? It wasn't like today where everybody's flicking on Storage Wars thinking they're going to go quit their job and they're going to become the next Barry Weiss, okay? Or what is it, Dave Hester, okay? It doesn't work that way, all right? Most of those people have thrift stores, those of you that watch the show, and they try to flip that stuff in their thrift store. But here's the thing, they get paid a ton of money from the network for starring in that show, and they also have their name out there in recognition. So they can sell merchandise and stuff like that. They don't even need the store or any of the items in those units to make money anymore, okay? They're pretty much famous. All of them are millionaires, if not multimillionaires, just due to the show. That's the truth, okay, guys? So I just want to put this out there because I don't think anybody should be watching Storage Wars and taking it as fact, okay? Is it entertaining? Yes, I'm you know, no offense, I like watching it for the entertainment value. It's hilarious, okay? But if you think you're going to get any knowledge of in-depth antiques and collectibles from that show, we're talking 10%, maybe 15%, because I'm going to be honest, on a lot of the stuff that they take to have praised, how much of that interests you, number one? And number two, how often are you going to come across some of that stuff, even the more esoteric stuff? And plus, the prices that they're giving out are when that show was filmed and according to the expert they're talking to. Those prices are not cemented in stone. Remember, guys, I did a video where I told you guys, be very careful if you're using price guides to price your stuff, okay? It's not going to work, okay? This guide, okay, and I don't care which one you want to look at that I have on my shelf here, the minute it was published, it's obsolete. I told you, investors in the antique trade use price guides as a way to identify certain items, okay? They also use it to look at what auction sold the item in question because that's usually listed in the caption of the pictures for some of the items related to the price guide, okay? Amateurs, speculators, they use price guides as fact, okay? They're the people that if you tell them, well, I'm interested in buying a, we'll take this, Battlestar Galactica Colonial Stellar Probe toy from 1978 in AFA 85, okay? They're going to consult the price guide and they're going to go, oh my God, well this one's AFA graded, okay? I can't sell it for that cheap. But I guarantee you, and they're right, don't get me wrong, because most price guides for toys don't factor in third-party certification, okay? So I'm not mocking anybody for that. But the problem is, if you pick up another item and you go, well, okay, I see you have a rocket-firing Boba Fett there, and the price guide says it's worth $12,000, okay? Offer them $12,000 for that item and see what happens. They won't sell that either because it's too high, okay? Well, then why are you even using a price guide to price your items? Because you want to look at the items that are overvalued in the price guide, and you want to price all those items at the price guide level, okay? It's a fool's game. Be very careful how you study pricing in the antiques and collectibles trade. If you're getting your information through any of the reality-based shows, I don't care if it's American Pickers, Antiques Roadshow, Pawn Stars, Toy Hunter, which is no longer being produced, I fully understand that. But if you're getting any of your prices based on those shows, it's obsolete. It's not real, okay? It's filmed and pretty much staged for your entertainment. That's all it is, okay? Now, if you want to learn the history of items, for instance, I'm going to do a video on American Pickers. Vintage advertising is a collecting category I love, okay? Matter of fact, the house that this is being filmed in is accented with a lot of hard-to-find pieces of vintage soda pop advertising, okay? We're talking Coca-Cola, 7-Up, Dr. Pepper. That said, I get chills when I watch American Pickers sometimes because some of the prices that they're talking are either way too low or way too high, okay? There's no happy medium. But the history on the items is spot on. So if you're watching those shows for the history, you're right. Watch them, okay? If you're watching it for entertainment value, watch them. That said, if you're watching them to understand the value of items or to learn some of the tricks that pickers use and other people in the business, it's not worth it, guys. Everybody, including you, was doing bundling and you know why I'm quoting that if you've ever watched an episode of American Pickers, okay, where if somebody has 2 items that you want to buy on a table at an antique mart, well, how much will you take for both of them, okay? That's not a skill, okay? That's a mindset, okay? It's innate in everybody who bargains for items, okay, on the market. That's just natural, okay? You can't say I learned bundling from American Pickers. That's stupid, okay? If you were going to flea markets even in your teenage years, okay, you knew how to negotiate where if you were buying 3 items as opposed to 1, well, can I get a better price for the 3 of them, okay? I really think some of the antique and collectible reality-based shows insult their audience, okay? And I've said this before, and this is going to be a topic as we go into American Pickers, Pawn Stars, and Toy Hunter, okay? So I thank you for watching. This video is 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I know I did go off topic a little bit in this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you do not get something out of it, please leave me a comment and let me know what I should have commented on instead. And I will gladly do a follow-up and take your comment into consideration when I do another video on this topic, okay? Again, if you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and comment, okay? I want to know your feedback. Even if you think I'm completely wrong, if I frustrate you with some of the things I say, okay? Other topics that are coming up, okay? I'm just going to tell you now that we're at the end of the video. Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, reality-based collectibles shows. We're going to do more on that. Antiques and collectibles is a valid alternative asset class, and I want to talk more about Lego, okay? Because I did promise people I would talk more about Lego and really haven't gotten around to it, okay? Another thing I did want to mention, I'm also going to be talking more about fundamentals and advanced collecting strategies, okay? Thank you guys, and have a good night.